Today's subject is all about getting this tree ready for repot. I don't know how much of this film I'll keep. The roosters keep trying. Oh, now we got the shotguns back out again. Well, I'm glad I didn't have to go get the big lobbers for this. I just wish people would be quiet on the set. Well, there's the chickens. We're getting ready to do some filming here. Work. This is going to be the front of the tree. So what I want to do is try to grab hold of one of these up here and try to pull it down, create my Jin, my Shari. Didn't get much of a Shari there. Waiting in anticipation for the next shotgun blast. It sure is unnerving. To say the least. Yep, there we got Shari working his way down. Well, here's the beginning of the Jin and the Shari. We'll work our way around, take a look at it. Of course, the old shotgun blast. Still working on the Shari. Just grab the bark, peel it down, piece at a time. We're doing it during the dormant season here so it doesn't bleed out. Not a whole lot of sap moving this time of year, but it won't be long. Within the next month or so, this tree will be budding out. And hopefully, I'm opening up just the right amount and not overdoing it. Kind of worries me sometimes. You don't want to take an expensive tree and try this unless you're a professional. Even then, the wrong way of doing this, you could end up killing the tree. Now, all I have is time and effort into this tree. There was no original money spent on securing it. So, I don't want to see it deceased. This is part 2, follow-up from last year when I actually put it in this huge container to fatten up the trunk, and I will say it literally doubled in its size. You saw me cut off almost 2 foot of tree, but there was actually another 18 inches which I cut off earlier just because it got too tall. So here we are, getting ready to repot it into a much smaller pot. It actually has a tile underneath its root system to make sure that the roots spread out, and we'll be seeing that and shortly as I go on to the repot here. Hopefully they got tired over there of all that shotgunning. The rooster seemed to have died down for the moment, so maybe we'll get some quiet. They've been out there for over 2 hours with those shotguns. It's kind of unnerving. But it seems to be over now. Just trying to get this to look as natural as I can. And I think I'm getting there. Well, the shotguns and the roosters continued, but I had to speed up the film. I filmed over an hour's worth of footage for this particular film. Make sure you go back and look at the one I did last year on repotting a bald cypress in a supersized pot and putting that tile under it. Check out the distance that this plant has grown in comparison to the one that went into that supersized pot. It's very interesting. It's on my YouTube channels. It goes back to last March. It's not hard to find. I gave the title already, so check it out. Well, we're getting ready to do the repot now, so stand by. We're going to start the repot now and see how we're doing here with this and go from there. Still clean up the top a little bit here. Of course, the gunfire and the roosters and the dog all have to come back into play now because I'm doing something. First of all, we'll just rake off this top. Try to get some of these weeds out of here that's growing into the top of the plant. Some clover seems to have found its place in here. Small chopstick, get it involved. And more weeds. I'm sure I will not get them all. That's the way weeds seem to work. They get themselves grounded into the situation. Especially this clover. A couple of different trees that seem to come up with this clover. And I'm not even sure I'm wired into the pot here, but the root seemed to have entangled itself with the pot itself. This one actually turned over during the last hurricane, and I had to refill it. With other soil. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's a weed and what's a root at this stage. It's not really willing to come out of the pot yet. I don't see any wires holding it in, so we'll just keep at it with the chopstick until we can free it. Not wanting to come out, that's for sure. Let me check the bottom of it. As you can see, the roots have grown down beneath, and so these roots are what's holding it in place right now. So we'll go ahead and cut them off. See if we can free this thing up. They really have anchored themselves in. Let's see if there's any more. I got one here. Now, it might escape the pot. Yep. There she comes. Out of the pot. Oh, take a look at those roots. It's really done well. Really done well. Well, go remove this first basket. Oh, bonsai soil here. Get it out of the way. I can use some of this in replanting it. Well, another speeding up of the film so that you don't have to sit there for the full hour that it took me to film all this. Basically, I'm just cutting the large roots, raking some of them out first. Haven't really started cutting, as you can see. Yeah, that's right. I'm just watching the film, trying to navigate you through it. Here I'm using the root rake and a little probe to knock out the soil to get to those roots. But they're coming up. Getting to the part where I reveal that a tile that's underneath, and within the next 30 seconds or so we'll be seeing it. So Here we go. Well, you can see the plate. An immense amount of roots. I'm going to do a little bit more raking here. Trying to get away from that tile. Ooh, back to the shotgun. These guys like that shotgun. Can't quite get the tile all there yet. There it comes. Yep, my favorite tile. Look at the roots underneath. Forced to spread out. So, you know what that means? I got to take all this off too, because I want to get it down to that. So, I'll sit down and relax and start carving away. Here we go with another section that I had to speed up. It was a long film, cutting the really large roots. It's amazing that you can do this to plants and get them to survive. But imagine you're out in the wild, in the swamps, looking for big bald cypresses. You don't come up with a dense root ball like that. You come up with some rather large roots that you gotta create little roots with. So, coming to the point now where I'm going to wash the roots, so stand by for the next segment. Here we go. Starting off a little flat action on the spray. Get the bottom too. Babies are. All right, we'll go to the jet now, just to make sure. Maybe down all through it. Well, that's the pot I got selected for it. We'll see how it all works out. The repot began. First of all, I'm going to check on the depth here again. I did go ahead and cut this back slightly, realizing the difficulty I was going to have in the future as I was trying to pull it out of the pot. Now, I'd already determined that I wanted to slant the tree in this direction. So let's see where we are on this part of it. So that's how I want the tree to go in there. So I'm not wasting any money on plastic going in there this time. And I'm going to use old soil because it is a bald cypress. Because it's a bald cypress, I know it's got a lot of vigor to it. And knowing this type of pot, I've got to put some soil in here around the edges. Chop sticking this stuff in is going to be one of the important parts of it. And we want to add some nutrients, so gonna shoot in some plant tone. I'm gonna be quite liberal this time, which I haven't been in the past, so I got a whole handful going in here. And we place our tree again, as I was saying. And I think I got the soil in there right. Appears that way. Let's just lift it up and check it. Yeah, there's my foot. So now it's just a matter of tying it in and then getting the soil in and around it, getting it watered down, and getting it pumped up for new growth. Let me cut this one off a bit. And go ahead and tighten these up. Waste no time. Cinch it up. 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 And now we're going to switch over to the other side, watching you don't get hit in the face. Cinch it up. Cinch it up. As the captain would say, when you can pick it up like that without the tree coming out of the pot, you got it. But it did lean there a little bit, so what we're going to do is go ahead and fill it in now. And start getting it down a little bit, and we'll cinch it up a little bit more. No leaves, no old roots, no large pieces of bark, no shavings. All right, let's go ahead and start getting this soil down in place. Shake, rattle, and roll a little bit. All right, let's see if we can tighten it up just a little bit more. All right, more there. Looks like we got, I thought it was a weed, but it's not a weed. All right, pretty tight indeed. All right, poke that down. More soil in there, soil in there, soil over here. All right, get that out of there. Oh, there's my scissors. First of all, let's bring in these smaller chopsticks to get around those roots that I washed off. Yeah, the big one's kind of clumsy. You can get in there tight if you got a sharp stick. It's not a very delicate plant, as you can tell by the way I treated it. Sometimes it's just the experience of working on certain trees. I never hope to lose a tree. I haven't had a tree yet that I wanted to see dead. Some that I wish I'd never planted, but not necessarily to see them dead. Yeah, let me get those scissors. Okay, more soil here, soil there, more soil there, a bit more here, and then let's go ahead and go around it with this stuff again. And start poking it down with the big chopstick to begin with. Back in with the next smaller one. Keep going around. Don't want to leave any areas unworked. Get rid of that leaf. Piece of bark. Well, I think we're almost ready to water here. Don't want the soil running over the edges. A loose root. Another one. Little root hairs here. Another weed there. Weed there. I think we got a nice tree going on there. Now let's go back in with the really thin wood oak sliver and get this down as far as we can, as far as getting sifted around the tree. Get the rest of that plant tone in there. Well, you saw how many roots I cut off this thing. Be interesting to see how it develops. We'll just clear everything out of here and we'll water it right here on this table. And how you like that? We can just pick it up like that. Get this stuff out of the way. The old shower head, which I can see is really not working all that good anymore. I rarely use the shower head anymore. I usually use the flat edge. Take a good close look at it. Well, there she is. Hope you enjoy it.